Do you want the truth or just another pretty self-help quote? Because here it comes, raw and unfiltered. If you don't have discipline, you'll stay weak. It doesn't matter how much you dream, how much you visualize, how badly you want a life change. Without discipline, all of that turns to dust, and the worst part, no one's coming to save you. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for motivation to fall from the sky, like it's some kind of magic key to transform their lives. But motivation is deceiving. It disappears the moment things get tough. That's why most people fail. Not because they lack talent, but because they have too many excuses. And maybe that's exactly where you are right now. Tired, frustrated, feeling like you could be much further along. And do you know why you're not? Because you're still waiting to feel like it. Enough. It's time to flip the script. Today you're going to understand why discipline is worth more than motivation, and how it's the only real bridge between I want and I did it. If you have the courage to face reality, this could be the last time you ever start over, and the first day of a new life. Some think discipline is about waking up early, taking cold showers and yelling motivational phrases in the mirror. But the truth is far less romantic and much more raw. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you hate every second of it. It's getting out of bed when the blanket feels like it promised you eternal love. It's studying when your phone begs you to watch just one more video. It's working even when your mind is a mess. Discipline isn't glamour. It's keeping your word even when the desire is gone. It's easy to be productive when you're inspired. The hard part, and what separates the strong from the weak, is taking action when motivation has left, when desire has vanished, and all that remains is that awkward silence between you and your broken promises. The disciplined person doesn't live based on feelings. They live based on decisions. They know emotions are temporary, but action builds legacy. That's why they don't negotiate with laziness. They conquer it. They don't wait for the perfect day, and they turn now into the right moment. Mike Tyson once said, "Discipline is doing what you hate, but doing it like you love it." And if you think about it, that applies to everything. Those who love the result learn to love the process, even if by force. Because the truth is simple. The strong do what needs to be done, the weak do only what's easy. One reads 10 pages a day, the other binges shows. One walks in the rain, the other waits for the weather to improve. The difference is in the daily choices. And that's when we start to see what real-life change looks like in practice. True discipline isn't just some pretty book theory. It's flesh, bone, and routine. Take David Goggins. He used to run for hours, not because he loved running, but because he hated being weak. While others waited for good weather to step outside, he was already out there in pain in the cold, but focused. He understood that discipline is the only bridge between who you are and who you could be. And if he, with a history of abuse, bullying, and obesity, turned his life around, what's stopping you? Kobe Bryant is another name that speaks for itself. He woke up at 4 a.m. to train every day, while others were still deciding whether to get up. Not because he was addicted to basketball, but because he understood that discipline is what turns talent into legacy. And that applies to any field. Want to be great at design, marketing, sales? Then be the first to study, even when no one's pushing you. That kind of consistency is what rewrites your story. And then there's Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL, who posts a photo of his watch every single day at 4:30 a.m. Not to show off, but to prove that discipline is a lifestyle. Like the samurai, they trained daily, even when there were no battles on the horizon. Why? Because they knew the enemy doesn't book appointments, and life doesn't either. When you live like you're always in training, the world might try to knock you down, but you're already standing before the hit lands. That's how new focus is built. First thing, remove the option to quit. When you decide something, it has to become law within you. No room for internal debate. Waking up to train, already decided. Studying at that set hour every day, non-negotiable. Because every time you leave it for later, you're feeding the weakest part of yourself. And the more you feed your weakness, the harder it gets to bounce back. Real change begins when you stop accepting pretty excuses disguised as common sense. Second step, start small but be consistent. Discipline doesn't come from overdoing, it comes from repetition. Want to build a new habit? Start by waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Do 10 minutes of exercise, even if it feels like nothing. Read 5 pages of a book that feeds your mind. Start with The Power of Habit or Outwitting the Devil. The secret isn't doing a lot once in a while. It's doing a little every day until it becomes natural, automatic, non-negotiable. Third, stop depending on feelings. No one feels like doing the hard stuff, and that's why so few succeed. If you only act when you're motivated, you'll be a slave to chance. Fourth step, embrace discomfort. That sting you feel when you leave your comfort zone, that's what strengthens you. And fifth, track and hold yourself accountable. Write it all down. What you did, what you didn't, and why. Facing your truth hurts, but it sets you free. And when you commit to this journey honestly, that's when real change begins. Now it's black and white. Either you choose discipline or you choose to stay weak. There's no more room to sit on the fence. Either you act today, even without feeling like it, or you'll spend another year watching others achieve what was meant to be yours. Focus isn't a gift, it's a decision, so stop waiting for the perfect conditions and face life as it is. Tough for those who hesitate, but fair to those who do what needs to be done. A life change demands that you choose between instant comfort and long-term self-respect. Want proof you can do this? Make a deal with yourself. Tomorrow, wake up at 5 in the morning. No snoozing, get up and go straight to a cold shower. Yes, the kind your body hates and your mind resists. Then put on something comfortable and go for a run, even if it's just 5 minutes. This isn't about fitness, it's about proving you have control, that your discipline is stronger than your desire to quit. Every micro-action screams, "I'm in charge." While others are still sleeping, you're already becoming someone stronger. Work in silence, no need to broadcast it. Replace scrolling your feed with clear goals. Swap complaining for planning. Your biggest enemy was never the world. It's always been the version of you that postpones everything. And it's with these small daily wins that you build a new lifestyle, one that doesn't rely on fleeting motivation, but stands on solid discipline. And that's where something far greater begins to reveal itself. Discipline isn't something you do once in a while. It's who you are every day. There's no real transformation without consistency. Those who live by emotion end up stumbling over their own lack of resolve. One day they're motivated, the next day they're drained. And that's how life slips by without anything truly changing. Real strength lies in those who build a routine as solid as concrete, even on the days when everything feels like chaos. There's no magic formula for changing your life. There's action, there's decision, there's the now. And that now is exactly what most people let slip away. Discipline doesn't thrive on later, it survives on today. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to start with what you have, where you are. Maybe it's walking instead of running. Maybe it's reading 5 pages instead of 50. But it has to be now, before doubt creeps in and steals another day from you. Because that's how it all starts. One solid step, one clear choice, one quiet commitment. The moment you stop negotiating with your feelings and start honoring your word, everything changes. Your body changes, your mind changes, your self-esteem explodes. And it's not because the world got easier, it's because you got stronger. And that new you is ready for something much bigger. So tell me, are you going to apply this or just watch and let this message pass like any other video? Because the difference between those who change their lives and those who keep complaining comes down to one word: action. You don't have to change everything today, but you do have to change something now. Are you still waiting for the perfect motivation, or are you finally going to do what needs to be done? Do you realize the power you just acquired here? How many people do you know who know exactly what they should do, but do nothing? And you, are you going to be just another one of them? Or are you going to be the first in your family, your neighborhood, your generation to break the cycle of procrastination and build a real future? If this video made sense to you, if it touched something inside, then you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stick with us on this journey. Here, we talk about discipline, motivation, and real transformation. No fluff, no excuses. The next video might be the breakthrough you've been waiting for, but nothing will work unless you do your part.